Hello, my name is Dr. Doug Brown. I'm an academic program manager in the MBA program offered by the Malcolm Baldrige School of Business at Post University. Today I'm going to walk you through a step-by-step approach to selecting your capstone topic. This presentation is intended for people who are starting Business 698 in week 1 or week 2, and for concentration students who want to know what's coming in capstone and what's involved with doing their topic. Two big ideas we're going to cover today: what makes a good topic and a step-by-step approach to getting it done. So let's get started. First characteristic of a good topic is it has to be real. And we have an applied program, so we want your topic to be applied to a specific company or organization and really focus in two main areas. Are you solving a real problem the organization has? Are you seizing on a real opportunity the organization has? Now, when we say organization, it could be your business, it could be another business, it could be a not-for-profit, or it could be a community organization. Now, a problem or opportunity are for those of you, really, even in the entrepreneurship concentration. When you think about starting your business, what problem are you solving for your potential customers, or what opportunity are you seizing in the marketplace? So we want it to be real, not a pure research project. The next thing to think about for your topic is, what will you do with it? Are you going to present this to your management team to advance your career? Are you going to try to get new investors for your business? Are you going to try to get a whole new job? Think about what you want to do with this. You're going to put 16 weeks of your life into it, and it's important that you're clear on why you're doing all of this. The next test is to see whether what you've written about and you've chosen as your topic is going to demonstrate what you've learned. Ultimately, this is a test, and we want to see that through the course of this thing you've selected, that you can prove what you've learned. So you want to be thinking about, what were the core lessons from the concentration courses? What about the foundation, and what about the core courses? And go back and look at your syllabi and look at our program so you see what it is that you have to think about including. You should also be thinking about the MBA program outcomes. I've done a separate presentation on that which walks through the outcomes and talks about it related to capstone. You may want to look at that. Ultimately, one point, we don't want you to use every lesson you've ever learned in the program. That's just not realistic. But we do want to see that in order to complete your project, that you've demonstrated what you've learned. The next thing is it creative, novel, or innovative? Now, you may remember all the way back from Business 505, the definition of innovation really is about creating new value. So, is what you're doing brand new, never been done before? That's less likely, you might remember. But are you taking a concept, even a tried and true concept, from one context to another into a new organization? Maybe that's innovative and value creating for a particular market, or even for your particular organization. This also applies if you're in entrepreneurship. If you're starting a business, understand why customers might select you versus someone else. So think about whether it's a novel or creative. We'll be looking for that as one of our criteria. The next thing you need to think about is, can you actually achieve it? We break this program up into two different segments. 698, which is 8 weeks. You'll have about 5 weeks left when your topic's approved, and then another 8 weeks to write. That may seem like a long time, but you need to make sure when you pick a topic, you can actually get the research and the writing done within that period of time. You should plan, you're probably going to spend 20 plus hours a week on it. So what can you do with the time that you've got? The next thing is it researchable? And the two topics there are access to data and a researchable topic. So access to data is about, can you get the information you need? For instance, if you're going to write about a company where you don't work there, how will you get the information that you need? How will you get enough data? If you're picking a topic that no research exists on it, how are you going to write about it? Now, a couple of caveats there. The first one is, even if there's not an exact research on point, we expect you as a master's level student to be able to extrapolate from existing data and apply that and make some inferences to support your ideas. So we're not saying you have to do something that's already been done before. Far from it. You just have to make sure you don't get stuck in a box where, gee, I looked around and there's nothing to support my ideas. What am I going to do now? You need to know that as you're thinking about your topic. One point on access to data has to do with confidentiality. Well, we do expect that you will maintain whatever obligation you have to your employer about confidentiality and non-disclosure. While we do take reasonable steps to keep your ideas confidential, we can't guarantee it, and it's not a substitute for keeping it secret. So how do you deal with that? Many students deal with this successfully because we're able to help them scrub the data or change the names of the companies so they can still accomplish the intent of their proposal without violating any confidentiality obligations. Now, the next 3 points. First, can you measure it? Look, we're an MBA program. People who hire graduates from an MBA program are expecting that they can measure things. What was it beforehand? What will it be afterwards? What's it going to cost me? What's the benefit of it? Not every topic is easy to research, but the core thing is you've got to be able to have some analytical measurement to it. And the reality is in business, if you don't have some measurement to it about what it's going to achieve and how it's going to be different than your starting point, then it's going to be very difficult for you to get anything done. So let's practice here. Next, can you get an organization sponsor? We strongly encourage you, if you're doing whatever your topic is, to have someone inside that organization be there to sponsor you. So what does that mean? It just means they're there to provide you advice and insight and be an advocate from you, maybe read parts of your paper, but or your topic or project, just to be able to give you that extra perspective. This may be a way, if you're trying to network your way into a company, that you can find someone who's already inside or has industry knowledge to be a sponsor for you. It's not to substitute for your mentor, but just to give you that extra perspective. And finally, is it your passion? You're going to spend a lot of time on this project. And if you're not really passionate about where you're going, it's going to be hard for you to sustain the energy you need to succeed. So find something that really just gets you fired up. Again, you're going to spend 20 plus hours a week over 16 weeks doing this. So make sure you love it. And make sure it's your capstone. It represents your whole experience. So make sure you're proud of it. You want to show it to people. So therefore, it all goes into topic selection. Okay, now let's talk about format and your concentration. Typically, we're seeing people do applied action-focused proposals, and that's for any concentration. We have a proposal development outline located in the resources section under outline templates that you should look at. It's a very good outline, and we think it works, so strongly consider using that as a prompt for your outline. Even if you're in entrepreneurship, you can do that. We find most entrepreneurship and some marketing students want to do a marketing plan, a business plan, and that's fine. If when you think about the outline for that, we have some suggestions. Again, we don't have to be really creative with these outlines. We want to have the outline structure match up with the audience's expectation. And so in a business plan, there are certain formats that you're expected to have. If you're in entrepreneurship, you saw those in Business 610. Go back and find those and use that as your outline template. Now, we are about creativity and innovation. So if you want to do something that's not a proposal or a business plan, feel free to bring that up. I would encourage you to spend some time with your lead instructor to talk about what you want to accomplish and why the outline is appropriate, just to make sure you're going to satisfy the requirements. So consult with that lead instructor early. So the next step is to look at the quick step-by-step approach of how to bring all this together, because this can be hard for people. And so here are the 6 steps. You're going to pick an organization. You're going to identify a problem or opportunity. You're going to think about what program content you're going to apply. You're going to define what success looks like, select how you're going to measure it, and outline it. So we'll talk about each of those steps in a minute. The first step really is brainstorming topics. and really just to brainstorm. You can do it in class, you can do it on your own, you can get other people together, but just think about what you've learned in the program and start using it to do the brainstorming of how to come up with different topics. Get to the point where you've got 3 ones that you think are viable. Develop into a topic statement. Now, a topic statement, we're not looking for a book. We're looking for a couple of brief paragraphs that really address each of the statements of parts of a good topic up above that I talked about a few minutes ago. Don't start writing the paper. We're just looking for a topic statement. So develop 3 of them. Write them out and as if you're going to do them. And then pick 2 and outline those. And share those statements on the discussion board or call up the lead instructor and have a conversation. Ultimately, you're going to pick one. So that's the big picture. So what I'd like to do is spend a few minutes and just walk through each of the steps. Here we go. So when you pick an organization, and by the way, these are the things that when you write in your topic, you ought to be answering these and other relevant questions. So what is the organization? What do they do? How is that organization relevant to your experience or where you want to go in your career? And how will you get information about it? So imagine that you're writing your topic. That's really your first paragraph or 2 of what is the organization. Now, identify the problem or opportunity. Because you've spent a paragraph or 2 describing the organization. Why is the opportunity or problem significant? Is it a strategic or a tactical problem? You can solve tactical problems too. How will you demonstrate the size, scope, or importance of the problem? This is key. We see many people who are coming to us with solutions in search of a problem. If you can't convince an organization of how big the problem is and why it's important and how you're going to measure it when it's fixed, you won't be able to get the organization to start. And pick something that's potentially solvable. There are certain things, if you wanted to develop you were working for the IRS and you want to develop a new tax code, can you research that in 16 weeks? And is it solvable within the scope of what you're trying to do? So make sure you're clear that it is solvable. We know you're just at the topic stage, by the way. You're not going to have the solution yet, but that's okay. You have to have a vision of being able to solve it somehow. So now that you've described the organization and the problem or opportunity, think about what program content you need. Look at the courses that you think might help you solve the problem. Look at your concentration. Look at the syllabus. Look at your notes. Look at the lectures. Look at the discussion boards. What is it that stood out to you and said, boy, I can use this to help me solve this problem? Maybe it's a problem you've thought about before. Think about how you're going to measure it and apply financial principles. Everybody has to do that, including leadership and innovation topics. You've got to have some level of measurement. Think, what can I learn and apply from the innovation and creativity lessons? What can I apply from leadership and management? Think about those big picture things. And I often tell people, imagine on the left side of the page, you've got all the program content. And on the right side of the page, you've got your topic and your draft of your outline. Where do those things intersect? Don't make the mistake of waiting till the end to try to put that stuff in. We've seen students who get very far down the road, come up with a great proposal or plan, but haven't articulated where the program content's coming from. So don't let that happen to you. Now the next step, and by the way, in number 3, it's fine when you do your outline to articulate that, to say, I think I might use this content. You're not locked into it. Okay. Number 4, what is the goal of the project and can you write smart objectives for it? Every single proposal and every single business plan has to have a goal stated and has to have clear, specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and timely objectives. So if you have a good company and you've got a good problem, but you can't write good objectives, smart objectives for a good goal, you're really going to struggle. I've seen too many students struggle with this well into 698 when they ought to have taken care of it in the first couple of weeks. Number 5, how would you measure success? Can you figure out what it would cost? How is the organization going to benefit? How are you going to measure it? These two are closely related. You have to be able to demonstrate your project will be successful. Now, here's an important tip. I've seen students who have come into with an idea and developed an entire proposal just to reach the conclusion through their research that it wouldn't work. Or they do a business plan and say, wow, I shouldn't open this business. Don't worry. When we evaluate your work, we're evaluating on the process. If you apply the process and the lessons properly, and your ultimate conclusion is the business should not be opened, you can still earn full credit for that. Because we're not judging whether the program is going to be successful. We're not substituting our judgment for yours. We're just trying to see, have you done the things that we've laid out here? Okay? The last step is, can you outline it? So you've got a topic, you've got all the things we've talked about. Can you put it into an outline? Now, we require an outline to illustrate your thinking. And you might be saying, I've written all my papers and I haven't outlined any paper yet. You're going to start now. You're not going to be able to bring all of these lessons together, either here or later on in life, without creating an outline to create the roadmap for your paper and the structure for that. If you know you're not good at that, now is the time to start thinking about it. We have templates you can use, but you can also do work on your own to really make it clear in the outline. If you're one of those people that says, I just start writing, okay, you just started writing. Reverse engineer the outline. Put your headings in. Let us see specifically where you're going. We're not looking for 40-page outlines here, folks. We're looking for a couple, 3 pages to see where you're going in some detail. Now, this is an important reason why you do this. If you can't outline it now with your hypothesis and what you think you might put in, then you may not have a good enough topic to work with. And if you can't focus the energy to outline it properly, you're going to have a real difficulty doing the research and actually writing it. So invest this time now. So the last thing I want to say is be able to seek guidance. You're not in this by yourself. You have your classmates, you have your lead instructor, you have the person who leads your concentration, all here to help you. There's another video that I did about preparing yourself for Capstone. Take a look at that. It's about kind of getting yourself mentally and physically ready for this. Be patient with yourself and keep moving forward. Use the class discussions for guidance, but don't get yourself pulled down a rat hole on anything. Stay focused. And there's no substitute for FaceTime with your lead instructor, either on the phone or by Skype. Don't get stuck. Just keep moving forward. You've made it this far. Congratulations on that accomplishment. And on behalf of the faculty, I want to welcome you to the Capstone process and wish you all the success in the world. For the record, this was recorded in October of 2012 and is current as of that time. For now, this is Dr. Doug Brown signing off.